This is On the Left Side, the alternative football show.
I think Everton need a manager now that's been used to dealing at a certain level in the transfer market. That's where Everton are.
Howdy there, I'm Jim, and it's time to take a ride over the last few days of football news in the usual, unusual way. If you still haven't hit subscribe, then hit that button now, so you never miss another episode of the show. Next week's is going to be really good too, probably. So, who here hasn't declared an interest in the Everton job yet? Anyone? Anyone at all? No? No one left that hasn't? Okay. The Toffees are still without a full-time manager, and seemingly everyone who has ever looked after a team of Sunday non-leaguers hasn't expressed an interest in the gig, and some that haven't even done that. Big Sam Allardyce is the latest to say he quite fancies a go at the big job, joining a list that already includes Phil Neville, Ryan Giggs, David Moyes, David Unsworth, and even, although he didn't say it explicitly, Harry Redknapp, who confessed that he'd quite like one last job before throwing in the towel. No doubt afterwards adding it would be terrific and talking about how much he'd like to sign John Terry. When Harry says one last job, I assume he means because if he was given the Goodison Park gig, he would no doubt be beaten to death by angry Scousers within the week. The man currently occupying the comfy managerial chair in the Everton dugout is the aforementioned Unsworth, whose temporary appointment is certainly dividing opinion. Currently standing in the ex-defender's corner is Phil Neville, who, having seemingly stepped back from his desire to take the job, is now presumably setting his sights on a position inside Unsworth's backroom team. Sorry, I don't mean backroom team, I mean a position inside Unsworth's ass. The lower-ranked Neville brother used his slot on Match of the Day to explain just why he thought Davey was the man for the job.
I think David Unsworth has got a fantastic opportunity to become Everton manager.
Why?
I keep reading about his lack of experience.
Let me stop you there, Phil. Surely, experience is pretty important. I mean, David Unsworth does have some experience. He's managed 4 games of senior professional football for Everton, and he's won one of them. So, he does have experience of a kind, yes, but anyway, you go on.
Everton's a special club. You've got to understand the people, you've got to understand the crowd that's made Everton great over the years.
So it's knowing the club that's important, say more important than coaching badges, tactical know-how, experience with senior players, or track record. Well, if you want someone who knows the club inside out, then just find the guy who won Mastermind, answering questions on the history of Everton Football Club 1890 to 1990. At least he'd finish what he started, which is more than you can say for Ronald Koeman. Not everyone is too struck on the idea of Unsworth, however, most notably Joey Barton. The Liverpudlian-born lad laid into the caretaker boss whilst he was commentating on the Toffees last weekend against Leicester.
He's a glorified PE teacher, he's here in a caretaker role and it won't last long.
I mean, it's a bit brutal, isn't it? Aren't all football managers essentially kinda glorified PE teachers anyway? Plus, as for a description, it's one that a lot of people had issues with. At Football Clichés on Twitter, for one, who said,
"A bit annoyed at Joey Barton's description of Unsworth as a PE teacher, when quite clearly we are looking at a prison officer here."
Not really sure that's very fair either. For me, he's not a prison officer, he's not a PE teacher. He's got the look of a bus driver. A bus driver who's given up on life and expresses his daily disappointment with pure hatred for his passengers. But, each to his own. However, maybe those mean comments by Barton were just said in the heat of the moment, because the next morning, he was back on TalkSport with Alan Brazil to explain his comments.
You've said, what about he's a upgraded PE teacher or something? You don't really mean that, do you?
Of course not, as everything it always is, it's taken completely out of context. He doesn't look like a manager. If you're going to lead a team, a football team of elite level athletes, he doesn't look right to me. He didn't look right.
It's not much of an apology, is it? And afterwards, he went off to slag off Unsworth for another 5 minutes. I wonder what the context was of statements like, "Look at him on the touchline, he's more like a steward. I watched him waddling into the coach. How can you get players to exert themselves physically when you're that out of shape?" Or Everton need to sort out their managerial situation, because it definitely can't be Unsworth. I'm not sure what kind of context would turn those statements into an endorsement, instead of what is a personal attack on a manager's ability and physicality. But Unsworth should probably just be happy that it was a verbal attack and not a physical attack, as I've heard Barton can be a bit handy with a cigar butt. And whilst we're talking about Joey Barton, we might as well keep the conversation on Cox after an unfortunate injury in Spain. Prepare to cross your legs and wince in discomfort as I tell you how Mariano Batali ended up needing 10 stitches in his penis this weekend. And no, it wasn't inflicted by his missus after some Wayne Rooney-esque escapades. The Argentinian defender was involved in a high-speed collision with a teammate, resulting in some stud-to-shaft action and a trip to the local A&E. You can actually hear the moment his colleague, hit the post in the match video, which was filmed from over 100 yards away in the stands. Amazingly, after needing 10 stitches to his gentleman's agreement, he isn't expected to miss a single game for the club. That is rock hard. He's rock hard. That's pretty impressive. I would have thought he won't be the other type of rock hard for quite some time. Compare that injury layoff to Paul Pogba, whose hurty leg is still keeping him out of football action and at the same time hindering Manchester United in playing anything remotely resembling football at Old Trafford. Not that bothers Jose Mourinho one little bit. The special one is more than happy with grinding out results and has just one message for those who are criticising his ugly, depressing football.
Some people speak too much, calm down, relax a little bit, don't speak too much, speak, relax. Yeah, relax a little bit, don't be so nervous, don't be so excited, calm down a little bit, relax.
Do you know what I thought of when I heard Jose Mourinho said that? Manchester United love a commercial opportunity. They love it. They have tractor sponsors, they have noodle sponsors, they have paint sponsors, and I can guarantee you that already some clever spark in the club's money-making factory is already working on the perfect gift for Manchester United fans this Christmas.
Relax with Josie. Unwind with the special messages of calm. Close your eyes and drift away as visions of two holding midfielders softly stroke your cerebral cortex. Relax with Josie. Available from the club shop now. But don't rush to get it. Relax.
Sorry, must have got too relaxed. That's it for another episode of On the Left Side. Come back soon. Between now and then, make sure you've subscribed to the show and give us a follow on Twitter at On the Left Side. And we'll be sure to DM you dirty pictures of our junk. Maybe with 10 stitches in. I will see you then. Bye-bye.
Relax with On the Left Side. Unwind with the special writing and production of Ant McGinley and Jim Salverson for Abrupt Audio.